Welcome back to the channel, guys. If you hear some noise, that's my wife steam cleaning the carpet in the house. Sorry about that. Trying to make some videos before we go on to other important matters here throughout our day. On our 2 days off. So I'm going to be ranking divisions, 1st through 4th, every division in the NFL. And today I'm starting with the NFC East. Not the toughest division, I know. The Commanders, the Giants, the Cowboys, the Eagles. I get it. So, wasting no time. The first team that I believe right now will finish in first place, barring what's happened in free agency already, pending the draft. This is pre-draft edition. Is the Dallas Cowboys. They lost Blake Jarwin to a hip injury. They cut him. Who knows if he'll come back or not. They retained Dalton Schultz. They retained Michael Gallup on a good deal, cheap deal, in my opinion. They lost Connor Williams. They lost La'el Collins. That hurts. They're going to need to step up there. They retained Leighton Vander Esch, DeMarcus Lawrence. You thought they had Randy Gregory retained. That didn't come to happen. They can still go after Zadarius Smith. They got Dante Fowler Jr. We'll see what they do at safety if they bring back Javon Curse. They brought in James Washington for a cup of coffee, 1-year deal. We'll see if he can revive his career in Dallas alongside Gallup and CeeDee Lamb. You got Sean McEwen, you got Tony Pollard, you got Dak Prescott. Barring Tyron Smith stays healthy, you drafted Josh Ball last year out of Marshall, who was pretty good. Had domestic violence incident years ago in Florida State. He seemed to stay on the straight and narrow. We'll see what happens with him. If he can progress and make it happen at left tackle. The second team is going to be Philadelphia Eagles right now, just because Jalen Hurts is the better quarterback. And the Eagles have some weapons. Dallas Goedert, and Devontae Smith. And they'll add more weapons undoubtedly in the draft. They've added some pieces. Hassan Reddick, it's okay. Fletcher Cox, it looks like he's back on a 1-year deal. So they'll add some pieces. They need a lot of help. But they're a second place team right now. Third place, and this is pending a change in the offseason training camp draft, is going to be the New York Giants. I think Daniel Jones, still young, 24 years old. I still believe he has an opportunity to make a difference and be the starter and be a franchise quarterback. But this is probably his last shot in the NFL. So you have the Giants. Haven't done a whole lot in free agency, but they've done okay. We'll see what they do in the draft. They have some picks. They're third place. Fourth place is going to be the Washington Commanders. You don't know what you're going to get from Carson Wentz. You've got a good defensive line. You need help at linebacker and corner, safety. Need some pieces, but you've got some pieces. So we'll see. That they could get bumped up here depending on Carson Wentz. Second division is going to be the NFC West. This isn't so tough because right now, as it stands, with all the moving parts, the LA Rams are the clear favorite. Super Bowl champions. They've got the best quarterback in the division right now. They've picked up some pieces. They're going to pick up more pieces. They're going to figure things out. They're the top team in the division, no doubt. Even if Aaron Donald does decide to leave for retirement, they're still going to be the top team in the division. Second place, undoubtedly, will be the San Francisco 49ers. When this is whether Jimmy Garoppolo comes back for another year or he leaves and it's Trey Lance's team. They're still talented. They're getting more talent in the draft. They've picked up some pieces, decent pieces. Excuse me. But they have the better coach. Second best coach in the division. Probably second best quarterback, in my opinion. Third is going to be the Arizona Cardinals. And I say that because they don't have a Nick Bosa. They don't have a ton of talent. They lost Chandler Jones. They're losing A.J. Green. Yeah, that's not too big a deal. They re-signed Zach Ertz. They lost quite a few pieces. Haven't done a lot in free agency, but they've done okay. Kyler Murray, drama. You don't know what's going to happen with him. You just really don't know what's going to happen with Kyler Murray. And if he's going to hold out or what he's going to do. So the Arizona Cardinals finished in third. And last, of course, is the Seattle Seahawks. You're not getting Deshaun Watson. Maybe you make a trade for Jimmy Garoppolo, which I doubt the 49ers are going to do. If they release him, maybe you pick him up. You've got Drew Lock. You're kind of in a rebuild mode. You got some draft picks. You've got some draft picks now. So you can rebuild this thing fairly quickly within a year or two if you do things correctly. So the Seahawks, they could get bumped up. So could the Cardinals. This is not end-all, be-all. This is pre-draft, pre-off-season, all that good stuff. That's the NFC West. Next is going to be the NFC North. Now, clearly, people would say the Packers. Just bear with me now. You're all going to hate me. Minnesota Vikings right now. You got Kirk Cousins. You got better weapons, a better offensive line. You've got some weapons on defense. They need some pieces. They've got some draft picks. Minnesota Vikings, first as of right now. And I think Kirk Cousins is good. You got a new head coach. We'll see how that plays out. But I like their new GM and their new head coach. I think they're going to do well, and they're going to draft well. They've done well in free agency so far. This is not a great division anyway, even with the Green Bay Packers. Now, second, and this could change quickly. They could be first, depending on what they do with the draft picks they received. But you lost your best receiver. You clearly don't have anybody behind him to replace him. You've lost Equanimeous St. Brown. You've lost some other pieces. You got Aaron Rodgers, who's the best quarterback in the division, undoubtedly. But you could struggle. Your defense has not played well at times when they need to. Secondary is pretty good. If they draft well, this could change quickly. So they might be a 1A. But they're second place right now to me. Third place, of course, is going to be the Detroit Lions. And they could end up being the division winner. Jared Goff's underrated. He's better than people think. And Dan Campbell and Brad Holmes, the general manager, have done a good job in free agency. A very good job. DJ Shark, very underrated signing. Tracy Walker, others. They've made some good signings. We'll see what they do in the draft. If they get Aiden Hutchinson, they're probably going to bump up to number one. Or even if they get Kayvon Thibodeau, they'll probably be bumped up to number one in the division. They're going to get better. They're going to have a lot more wins, I believe. So, Detroit Lions, third place. Chicago Bears, fourth place. New head coach, new manager, young quarterback. You basically sew off Allen Robinson's gone, Khalil Mack, getting rid of some other pieces. This is a rebuild. It's going to take a year or two, and it sucks for Justin Fields because I think he could be special. I feel like he should have gone for the 49ers or somewhere else and it'd been a better fit, but we'll see what happens. But right now they are in fourth place in the NFC North. And finally, last but not least, certainly, but maybe least, the NFC South. Now you know who's going to win this division. It's Tampa Bay, baby. It's Tampa Bay. Thomas Edward Patrick Brady. is going to win this division. He's enticed possibly Julio Jones and others to come to Tampa Bay. They're going to come there because of Tom Brady. And it's not even close. And if they do well in the draft and hit on some picks, they're going to get even better. They've got some depth. I still think Ali Marpet could return and decide to come out of retirement before the beginning of the season or sooner. They're the clear favorite to win the division, Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Second place, depending on what they do, if they trade for Baker Mayfield, bring in Jimmy Garoppolo, or whatever they do just on talent alone, is going to be the New Orleans Saints. New head coach. He's been a head coach with the Raiders before. Not sure how it's going to work out, but I'm picking the New Orleans Saints just based on talent right now. Third is going to be the Carolina Panthers, and this could go either way between them and the Falcons, because the Falcons have the better quarterback, but are they going to trade him to the Colts? Do the Colts take Matt Ryan? What happens there? We don't know yet. But the Panthers got some talent, got a pretty decent defense, need a quarterback. Maybe they trade for Baker Mayfield. Maybe they try to make a run for Derek Carr. Don't see that happening. Maybe they try to make a run for Jimmy Garoppolo. So we'll see what happens there. The Falcons rebuilding still. The only weapon you have is Kyle Pitts. Calvin Ridley out for a 2022 season and foreseeable future due to gambling. Dumb, but new second-year head coach. This is a rebuild, guys. I wouldn't expect to start winning a bunch of games until probably next year, even if Matt Ryan returns. This is a rebuild, and that's for the NFC, guys. Now for the AFC North. AFC North, clearly the Bengals right now are the favorite. They've been to the Super Bowl. They've improved their offensive line. They've improved their defense a little bit. They're going to add stuff in the draft. They're going to add a lot of players in the draft and undrafted free agency. The Bengals are the clear favorite as long as Joe Burrow is healthy. And if that offensive line plays 50% better than they did last year, they're gonna win this division again, hands down. They've got the most talent. They're the youngest team. They got enough cap space to trade or go after whoever they want during the season or during the off-season and training camp. They are the clear favorites right now, the Cincinnati Bengals. Second place right now is going to be the Baltimore Ravens. Good head coach, stable organization. They've got their quarterback in Lamar Jackson. If he comes back healthy, they've added some pieces in free agency. They'll add pieces in the draft. They'll get younger faster. I believe that the Baltimore Ravens will finish second in the division. Third, and this could change, especially now with the Browns trading for Deshaun Watson. They had to give up a lot. They don't have a lot. Maybe this entices some other players to come back. Jarvis Landry, Jadeveon Clowney, Zadarius Smith, others. Maybe they make more trades. But Deshaun Watson at least puts them at third, if not second. Right now they're third because you don't know how it's going to pan out. You don't know if Deshaun Watson's going to be suspended or what's going to happen with his legal situation, with his civil cases. He could very well face another NFL suspension. So we'll see what happens with that. And fourth right now, they could end up first. If Mr. Trubisky or Mason Rudolph or Dwayne Haskins balls out and they fix this offensive line, they've got some weapons. Young star, another Heath Miller and Pat Freiermuth, probably even better than Heath Miller. You got Najee Harris, you got Chase Claypool. You've got weapons, no doubt. And on defense, you're pretty stout. And with Miles Jack and possibly the addition of Tyrann Mathieu and others, you've got some draft picks. This team, it's going to be a competitive division. Any one of these teams could take this division. But right now, Bengals first, Ravens second, Browns third, and Steelers fourth in the AFC North. Now we're going to move to AFC South first. AFC South. You got the Titans, have got Ryan Tannehill. They might be the most stable organization right now. Right now I'm putting the Titans in first place with the Colts second place, dependent on quarterback. But watch out for the Jaguars. I don't like their free agency so far. They haven't fixed the offensive line like I think they should, but they're still making pieces move. They're still moving parts. There's a draft. Trevor Lawrence is the best quarterback in the division without a doubt. So Jaguars could be second, third. They could be first. Any one of these teams could win this division. It is not a stout division. And then you got the Texans, who have got a humongous draft haul for Deshaun Watson trade. They could end up in first. They could end up in fourth. Right now I have them fourth, Jaguars third, Colts second, and the Titans first. That might not hold up the whole year. So I don't see... Okay, AFC East. Clearly the best team in the AFC East right now is the Buffalo Bills. But let me tell you something. The New England Patriots, free agency moves, and the draft they're coming up with, if they hit on draft picks and all, they made the playoffs. I picked them to make the playoffs last year. Nobody else did. They're like, oh, New England's going to suck. Mac Jones, stud rookie quarterback, second year. This is going to be competitive between these two, and possibly the Jets and Dolphins. Although I think this is my pick right now. The Bills are first. They got Von Miller. They're making moves. They want to get to a Super Bowl. They got the best quarterback in the division, bar none, right now. Second place is going to be the New England Patriots. They could very well go on and win this division and make a run this year. I like what they're doing. I like their team. Third place is going to be the New York Jets. Young quarterback, young coach, first-time head coach. They've made some pieces. They've helped their offensive line. You're going to have Mekhi Becton. You're going to have Laken Tomlinson at guard. You're going to have Connor McGovern. You're going to have Elijah Vera Tucker. That's going to be a lot better offensive line than they had last year. So Zach Wilson should be a lot better. They've got some weapons. They need some help on defense, but the Jets could finish first, second, or third. But I got them third right now. And the last place, new head coach, turmoil at quarterback. I really don't think they wanted Tua. You got the Brian Flores situation, not knowing where that's going to lead to. If it's found out the owner actually paid the coach, tried to bribe the coach to lose games, that's going to look really bad, and that's going to set this team back. Dolphins in fourth. They just don't have the talent. They don't have the quarterback as compared to Josh Allen, or Mac Jones, or Zach Wilson. It's not even close. Tua is the fourth best quarterback. Dolphins, your fourth place team right now. And that's just the way it goes for that division. Now the last and best division, absolutely stacked. Any team could win this division. I could see this division having 4 teams in the playoff, all 4 teams. Right now, just based on last year, and the signing of Juju Smith-Schuster to help bolster the wide receiving core and add more weapons for Patrick Mahomes, Chiefs are on top. I actually have the Raiders in second now. With the addition of Devontae Adams, they already had some weapons in Hunter Renfrow, Darren Waller, and Bryan Edwards. They're going to help their offensive line. They've helped our defense with Chandler Jones and Rocky Sin at corner. They've gotten better. I think this team's loaded, and their quarterback has more weapons. Derek Carr is going to ball out this year. Barring him getting traded, Raiders are in second place. Third place is going to be Chargers, and they could win this division as well. Any one of these teams could. Justin Herbert is an up-and-coming quarterback. I feel like they're making the playoffs this year. They could absolutely win the division with the addition of Khalil Mack, Mike Williams, the defensive tackle. They've added to Linville Joseph and Joey Bosa and Derwin James and J.C. Jackson. The Chargers could absolutely be in first place in this division. They're going to be 10 wins or better. Chargers are loaded. Love their quarterback, Herbert. Love them coming out of Oregon. They're definitely third place at minimum, if not first place. And the fourth place, but they could end up being first as well. And even if they're fourth, they could still make the playoffs and make a run. Is the Denver Broncos. You've got some weapons. Still need some help on the offensive line. You added Randy Gregory, though, on defense. to pair with Bradley Chubb. That's going to be dangerous. You got Pat Surtain, the best corner in football, best young corner, shutdown, lockdown guy. This team, barring a major injury and some improvements on the offensive line, could go from 4th to 1st, and they could make a legitimate run at a Super Bowl. Those are my teams and division winners to worst. And just because you're worst in some of these divisions doesn't mean you're not going to make the playoffs, especially in the NFC. So let me know what you guys think. Like, comment, share, subscribe, hit notifications, like and subscribe. Helps the channel. And I'll catch you guys on the next video.